Hey, good morning. And yes, I can't say what I normally say because we are at the Sun and Fun Flight, and this is a family event, right, Mike?
Yeah, sure.
Family. Yeah, we'll go with a family event here. And then I'm going to let our awesome guest introduce himself. Go ahead, sir. Introduce yourself.
I'm Patrick McInteer. I'm a STOL pilot here at Sun and Fun from Lincoln, Nebraska.
From Lincoln, Nebraska. So let me guess, you're a Cornhuskers fan.
I am. It's hard, but I don't know. I can't seem to control who I root for.
Yeah, so before we talk about planes, we'll talk a little football then. So, the only way I remember Nebraska, the Cornhuskers, I'm a Florida State fan, so,
yeah.
But I will say I remember Tommy Frazier, who played quarterback for you guys, right?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Yep, and he won a national title for you guys, too, I believe.
Two.
Yeah. Okay, he has to throw it in there. Two. Those national titles. You know, it's funny, one of his cousins, when I used to coach youth sports, U13 football, it was actually I coached his cousin at quarterback.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he was like, his name was Quentin Frazier, and he was like, yeah, that's my cousin. And I was like, no kidding. I was
that's
like, wow.
Awesome.
And he had a cannon of an arm, too. Like, this kid at 13 could throw 50 yards on a dime. I mean, it was nuts. He ended up playing for our high school team here that's really popular, the Lakeland Dreadnoughts. So
that's awesome.
They're like, what is it, like 5-6 times state champs or something like that? Yeah, I mean, yeah, they just won the state championship last year in 6 or 7A. I don't even know anymore because the school keeps growing, so they keep moving them up, into those brackets. But yeah, it's crazy stuff, man. So what brings you out to STOL, the STOL Nation?
So I've never been down here to Sun and Fun before. This is my first time here. And I applied to fly in the evening STOL demo. We fly 3 times during the week. I do STOL, it stands for short takeoff and landing. And I do short takeoff and landing competitions. We have a circuit that we fly around the country and do competitions against each other. STOL Nation is Anitra Goddard's company, and she organizes not the circuit that we fly on, but some other events, including this one. She's organizing another big event up in the original STOL event is in Valdez, Alaska next month. She's doing that. And so I just, from doing a bunch of events, I know Anitra. And so she selected me and 11 other pilots to come fly this week. So it's really cool because at my first ever Sun and Fun, I get to fly. So that was pretty badass.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So this is your first Sun and Fun?
Yeah, I've never been here before.
And this morning, it was my first flight that I get to fly with you.
Yeah.
So how awesome is that?
Yeah.
Your first Sun and Fun? My first time at a prop plane. So.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a good time, man. I know. And they call it puppy love. Dreams made forever.
Best friends forever.
I know. I never laughed so hard because he's like, I popped your cherry today.
In the air.
In the air, though.
Yeah.
Not only did he pop my cherry, I also earned my wings. Wink, wink. Wait, I'm talking about regular wings, guys, not those. So tell us a little bit about your plane. I mean,
I'm flying a Rans S7. It's an experimental home built. I didn't build it. I bought it. So I bought it about a year ago, and I've just made a lot of changes to it to try and be competitive with STOL.
Right.
Put a bigger engine on it, change the wings, shocks on the big tires, shocks on the landing gear. A lot of mods that most of the pilots make to try and be competitive.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I have to ask. I'm going to probably ask a really stupid question, but no question stupid.
Just
the
people.
People that ask.
Stupid people.
Just the people that ask it.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. So why are the tires so big on these planes? I have to ask.
Well, it's a forgiveness thing. So originally, those are called Alaska bush wheels, and flying up in Alaska, a lot of pilots are landing on gravel bars with big rocks and tree stumps and things. And so those tires, they only run in about 6-8 pounds of pressure in them. So they're great big, but they're very, very spongy, and they can go over, rocks and logs and stumps, and they're more forgiving. Plus, they won't sink in like little tires into mud as much. They kind of hydroplane over it a little bit. For most of the people down here in the lower 48, they're just fun. They're very expensive.
Expensive but fun. So I'm curious, how much does one of those tires cost?
About $2,000.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
$2,000 for a tire?
Yeah.
Gotta be shit.
And they're super soft rubber, so we wear them out So you'll see on a few of them, if you look around, we paint truck bed liner on them because truck bed liner is cheap.
Yeah.
We can paint a set of tires for $50. That'll wear for a year or so, and then you don't wear your tires out. You're just wearing truck bed liner, and then we'll repaint them.
Just keep on going till
yeah.
stretch it out a little
bit.
bit.
Try and make them last forever. Yeah, because they're expensive.
I was like this. I'm going. So what you're telling? Oh, go ahead.
I was wondering what that was. I noticed on a couple of the tires. I thought that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I was like,
100%.
Is that really what that can be? So that's interesting you said.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So basically, in a nutshell, what you're telling us, Patrick, is that owning a plane is kind of like more expensive than owning a boat.
Boy, it can be. Yeah. We joke a lot that none of us are really wealthy. We're just irresponsible. So
or both.
Yeah, the lucky guys are both. Yeah, but yeah, there's the fun thing about the experimental airplanes like I have is that we're allowed to literally put anything on them we want. The FAA certified planes, they're very limited in what they can legally change on the plane. But if I got a wild hair and wanted to strap a Chevy 350 big block on the front of my plane, I could.
Really?
It'd be too heavy. It wouldn't fly. But we just have so much leeway on that side. So when it comes to all these mods we make to our planes, it's really easy on the experimental side.
See, so you couldn't add like 2 50 cal machine guns on the side or anything like that and get away with it, is what you're telling me?
They shoot guns out of helicopters at pigs. So I don't know what the rule is on airplanes.
So next year we come out and Patrick's going to have 2 freaking 50 cal machine guns on the side of it.
I never thought of it until the podcast, but yeah, that'll be next month.
And he's like this. He's going, okay, so I need to have a check for this much. Let me add to my irresponsibility here.
Can we pause the podcast? I need to make some notes.
No, go ahead. Make them on. It's fine. Just make them on there. As I'll be going, check, yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. I think you should buy those.
So I know 2 pilots out in, they're in Wyoming. They have a contract with the state to actually, they have to control the coyote population. They fly around in a Rans S7 like mine and shoot coyotes. And I know for a fact that they've shot the strut that holds the wing on. They've shot the prop because they get excited and they swing the gun over and shoot their own airplane.
While they're flying.
Yeah. So then one of them built like this shooting box that only allows the gun to swing where it's not going to shoot the plane down.
Yeah. When you say that, I'm going to bring up an old movie. It's probably before you, but the Indiana Jones movie with Last Crusade, when he's in the plane with Sean Connery, and he's telling him, shoot 12 o'clock. And he turns the thing around and he blows the back of the tail off and he goes, oh, we took a hit, son. I'm sorry. He blamed it on the Germans when it was really him shooting the plane.
100%. Yep. I know that well.
Be some dumb shit I'd do. I'd be like this. I'd be like, hey, Patrick, hold on. Oh, shit. Yeah, man. We took a hit, dude.
We took a hit. It happened.
We're going down, Patrick.
Yep.
He'd be like, what happened? I don't know, man. That guy was right on. You didn't see him. He was on your 6.
Oh, it was really good.
He was just really a great pilot.
He was better at this than me. Yeah.
He looks at his film on his phone. Brad, you shot at that thing. I just saw you.
There was no one behind us.
You can see that coyote? He had a huge gun, man. I mean, go on. You've never obviously seen Roadrunner, all right, man? Because Wile E. Coyote was a pretty clever dude, all right? That's all I'm going to say.
Acme Rockets didn't work out well for him, though.
Well, see, that'd be another thing, too. Could you put, like, bombs on it and stuff?
Well, so on my plane, I've gotten asked that a few times because I have cargo pods hanging off the wing, and they kind of look like little bombs. So I've had more than one person ask me this week if I had bombs on my airplane, to which I respond, yes, 100%.
You're like, I absolutely do.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to be driving over your car in a little bit.
Yeah.
So when you load those pods, how worried do you have to be about the weight, like distribution? Is it you try to make sure it's pretty even?
It has to be. My first flight with those, I paid no attention to the weight. I just threw stuff in them. And for the first 20 miles, my plane, where's my hands? My plane was flying sideways like this because I was heavy on the right. So I just landed in a field, the advantage of big tires. And I was trying to guess, like, how much does stuff weigh? And I was kind of throwing stuff side to side. When I came down for this trip, I had about a 12, 13-hour flight. And so I actually loaded them on the ground before I mounted them, and I used a luggage scale and got them really close. And it flew great. And then last night I flew the Stoll demo with them on, and they're empty, so there's no weight in them. Yeah.
Honestly, I thought they were fuel pods myself. I'm not gonna lie. I thought, he must carry extra fuel under the wings. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they would each. The guy that made them told me they would each hold 30 gallons. So, I can carry 28 gallons now. I burn 7 an hour at the most. So if I had another 60, I could fly for like a whole day. I'd have to pee really bad, but
yeah. But okay, so I'm gonna ask the next weird thing. So if you're like on long flights, let's just say you got long flights, do you like pee in a bottle, or do you like pee? Do you have like a thing that you can like a hose hook up, where you can like go out the back, or anything like that?
I've tried. It's really difficult. I usually just land. Again, with big tires, I can land about anywhere.
So I'm gonna ask for a friend here. So if somebody developed something you could wear.
Like a diaper?
No, not well, kind of, maybe. I don't know a diaper. That'd be kind of weird, having to take a dump and, I mean, what do you have to do? What would you have to? What do you have to do? Like, if you have to? I mean, that's actually an honest question. What do you do if you have to? If you have to take a dump, like in an emergency, like you got to go?
I have toilet paper in the baggage, so I just land somewhere.
Oh, really? You just land anywhere? Just you know what?
Get it done.
Drop in this field, drop a deuce, and then take right back off.
Nope, it's happened. Well,
what state were you in? Don't lie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's been more than one. Missouri's got definitely evidence that I've been there.
DNA spread out all across
the country. Kansas, yeah. It happens. Sometimes you make some poor decisions on where you have lunch. Take off flying.
Tacos, maybe some scallops.
Gas station gumbo.
And then you're like this.
Never a good idea.
You start hearing that rumble. It's like time to find a landing spot, man.
Dang it.
So with the tail dragger, do you have to worry about when you're taking off out of a field? Do you have to worry about like what's in front of you and stuff like that? Because I know the big tires make it easier in ruts. And does the back tire cause any issues, or is it up pretty quick?
Yeah, that gets up pretty quick. What you really have to be aware of, like we do a lot of off-field landings, off airport landings.
Yeah.
I don't land in like tall grass.
Okay.
Because I can't see what's in it. So I can't trust that there's not a fence or a down tree. And what really will hurt you is the prop hitting something.
Yes.
Because then that energy is directed into your engine. So like I'll land in fields, but they're either a cut hay field or like a harvested bean field or something. But you got to really be careful in tall grass because there could be a fence in there.
Yeah, fence or all sorts of stuff. Yeah, so you got to avoid that.
The tails, no, we spend a lot of time with them up anyway, even on the ground. So that's not as big of a deal. No.
How fast do you have to go before the tail starts to come up?
Every plane's a little different. My plane's pretty light. I'm one of the lighter planes here, so I probably have my plane up when I'm going. Well, when I compete, I have my plane up before I even start moving. So I just hold the brakes and I lift my tail up. And that gives me more of a neutral profile, so less drag. Because I'm trying to get off the ground as quick as I can. But I don't routinely do that. And like when you were flying with me this morning, because there was two of us, I couldn't do that because we were too heavy. And
what should I say?
What I'm saying is you're obese.
Yeah, we got a couple of these fat guys in here. So when you put these really heavy pounder dudes
I had to
in
take all the extra stuff out of my plane so I could fit you in there this morning.
I noticed you had to go full throttle.
I remember him saying, "We're gonna need a bigger room."
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna
get a guy. Look, longer. You need more room.
He's like, normally I could take off at like 200 feet. This is gonna need about 100, like 1,500, maybe 2,000.
Yeah, and I think we'll just get the tail up off the ground, just enough to get airborne. So
bounce it off. Start bouncing a little bit.
I purposely didn't eat breakfast so that way the weight was down. All right?
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
I appreciate it. It's the only thing that saved us.
Yours took the longest to get up off the ground, huh?
Yeah.
I was right up in the air, man. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Because you're only like 4 feet tall.
That's true. So when I make up for weight, it's all because of height. That's all really.
You have a lower center of gravity.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing in Levi's over here. Same thing, it was like quick to get that back end up. He did the same thing you did. He just got that back end up quick and got up off the ground.
Yeah, so when we lift the tail, it's easier for us to see.
Right.
Because of the tail down, we're kind of trying to look up over the nose. But when we get the tail up, we can see better. And then there's a couple different ways to take off from that. But a lot of times we'll then pull the nose up, which brings the tail back down. And that'll give us the angle to get the plane to go fly.
Yeah, it was funny because when you're talking about being able to see, I was talking to him on the tarmac over there when we were going down Fighter Row. One of my favorite planes, like World War II warplanes, is the Corsair. That was one of the biggest complaints by Corsair pilots is that when they're on the runway, they literally can't see until they get airborne. So they just kind of had to guess where they were by looking out the side of the window and going, okay.
And if you watch most of these tailwheel planes, when they taxi, they do S-turns left and right so they can see in front of them. If they went straight, they would just run into things and they wouldn't know what was there. So I even have to do that in my plane a little bit. So
really?
Left, right, so I can make sure I'm not running into something. Like the golf cart this morning was bringing us back here. I couldn't see him. I knew he was up there.
We were talking. He was like, man, he goes, the taxiing out of this thing is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. This taxiway here is a little bit sketchy.
Yeah, just a little sketchy.
They got everything going in every direction.
There's golf carts and bikes and people and no other air show is quite this way.
Like all people just watch Indiana Jones one time and realize it's a bad idea to be around a prop plane, man. Hello, yeah, you don't want to be like that German guy going like this, fighting and get cut by the blade. You know what I mean? And Indiana Jones is like, yeah, all right, well, have fun at it, buddy. This is all my props to Lucasfilms. Good job.
It's pretty wild because when I went up with Levi, he let me fly the plane for a minute, and I've never flown from the back seat. I was like, I can't see anything.
Right.
Like, you can't see the gauges.
Yeah, yep.
Like, I couldn't see nothing. I'm like, I don't even know where I'm flying to. Can't see the altimeter. Can't see anything. It's like, okay, just hold steady.
Levi and I both have given a lot of lessons in tail wheels, and the instructor sits in the back.
Yeah.
And when somebody is just learning, they can't really land.
Right.
So they have to tell me what they're seeing on the gauges as we're coming into land. I'm like, okay, tell me my airspeed. Okay, tell me my altitude. And I can see and I can kind of feel it. But it's always interesting when you're like, okay, what's my airspeed now?
It's a little nerve-wracking in the backseat. So much different experience. Sitting next to the pilot, in the co-pilot seat.
Right.
See everything. You're just like,
yeah, for sure.
What kind of wanted to be like Mother Goose in the back, I was just kind of like, no, you're doing good there, Patrick. You go, that pilot shit, man. Let's go. He was laughing because it was. I'll tell the story. I've already said it once today, but it's pretty funny. But we're talking. I go, yeah, man. I said, now the only thing on the bucket list is to go to space. And he goes, so what does he do? He pulls back on the stick. All right, let's go. And puts the plane up. And I'm like, no. And he's like laughing up there.
Yeah, he sounds like my buddy. We were flying with every day. So it was my first time being in a small prop plane. And I said, what happens if we lose engines? He's like, I don't know. Let's find out. And he cut the engine off.
I went to full on panic.
Like, what are you doing? And we were only like maybe 700 feet off the ground anyway, because I've seen all the alligators and everything down there. We're just gliding. And he's like, oh, I'm just joking around and kind of back up and get going. I was like, what if it wouldn't have started? He's like, we would have probably been swimming.
For a very short period of time before you got ate.
Until we got ate.
Either now we have a python problem down here, so it's like it's really bad. I mean, they have python season down here now. You know that? So you go python hunting, they give you money by how many pythons you catch.
Wow.
Yeah, the state of Florida does because it's become such a problem.
Yeah, because they're invasive, right?
Yeah, they're super invasive and they're killing like the alligators and things like that. But the reality is people like get these pythons as pets and then they go, oh, this ball peen python, oh, it ain't gonna get much bigger. Yeah, it will. You release it out of that wild because they will adapt to their environment down there because it's right up their alley. You know, so they people just need to do the responsible thing. Obviously, either take it to somewhere or. I guess the other choice is not
take it down.
Not PETA friendly, but
treat it with a hoe.
Yeah, we're not talking about the kind that we like. Wait, what?
The good kind.
Yeah, we're not talking about the good kind. We're talking about look at these guys coming in right here to your right. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, that is so nasty cool, guys. I'm sorry, we're taking a break.
It's gonna get really loud.
It's gonna get really loud, so we're gonna let you guys listen.
Yeah, flip it around.
Wow, what'd you think of that?
So cool.
Good stuff.
Scary
Look at that
thing
right
is
behind us.
that you can't even hear them until it's too late. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly. The
We're-
bombs have already hit you.
All you hear is,
you're already just
You hear that?
don't know it yet.
and if you hear those birds, that's not a bird.
Right?
So before we get out of here, I have to ask you, Patrick. So, a little birdie may have given me a little ear of what you do for a living if you want to talk about it a little bit. I found it very interesting.
So yeah, I went to college to be a veterinarian.
Right.
I own a vet clinic, and I specialize.
The Air Force says no.
I specialize in orthopedic surgery on dogs. So I mostly fix torn ACLs in dogs. I turned my aviation hobby into another job. So I actually am a contract pilot, and I get paid to fly as well.
Oh, wow.
So I have two jobs. I like to tell people I'm a pilot, but really I'm a veterinarian.
So do you work on people too?
Yeah, because you need.
I'm sure. What do you need?
I need my meniscus maybe repaired. So
Yeah.
Little
The
miss-
anesthesia's tricky, so you just have to drink till it doesn't hurt,
It doesn't hurt anymore.
and then we'll be fine.
challenge accepted.
Yeah.
We can start tonight. I mean, you got
Yeah.
your tools with you. I mean, we ready to go.
I think midnight is the best time.
Okay, great.
So
Also,
get
I'll walk.
yourself prepped.
I start walking out with a hairy leg. He puts a dog leg on me, like it down.
You'll have a bit of a bark
Yeah,
afterwards.
I'll be like,
So when you fly for other people, is it their planes normally? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So they,
I'm a contract pilot,
pilot,
so I'm
okay.
I'm flying other people's planes for the owners.
now is it just transporting the planes, or is it flying them to destinations, or both?
Yeah,
and
it's moving people.
moving people. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Some of it's just for leisure. Some of them they use for business.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
In fact, I just flew down to Fort Myers last Thursday, dropped some clients off, and then on Saturday I flew my plane down. Saturday and Sunday, because it's a
Today.
much longer trip in this plane than it was in the contract plane.
So what kind of plane is the contract plane?
I fly PC-12s, Pilatus PC-12.
What's the cruising speed for those?
About a little over 300 miles an hour.
Is it a twin engine?
It's a single engine turboprop. We cruise about 25,000 feet. Most of them are set up to carry 6 people in the back, although I think they can be configured to carry up to 9.
Do they use just regular like aviation fuel, or do they?
They run on jet fuel. Yeah, a turboprop is basically a jet engine that's turned around backwards and has a propeller on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's another tier of licensing, right? To fly a turboprop over.
Just enough training to make the insurance happy.
You know, this
There's-
whole flight thing is making me seriously nervous as shit. I can you imagine I'm getting on a freaking Southwest flight. Yeah, you just need a little bit of training so you can handle flying a bus in the sky. Other than that, you're good, man.
I literally just passed my test online like 10 minutes ago. I'm an ordained pilot.
So, welcome aboard. The fasten seatbelt lights will stay on for the entire trip.
15 minutes ago, I was starting Starbucks. They said you could pilot, so I just jumped on it and got my certificate.
There is a shortage. So.
I make a mean cup of coffee over the airplanes and coffee tent. So just come on over, and then we'll take off here shortly. And there they go, right behind us.
You also fly like instrumentation. Like, did you hear? I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, the instrument rating.
Instrument rating.
Yeah, so you have to have that to be able to fly in the clouds. Yeah.
Okay.
So it starts, you get your private pilot's license, and that just allows you to fly without getting paid, but you can't go in the clouds. Then you get your instrument rating, so that allows you to go in the clouds. And then if you get your commercial, then you can get paid for flying.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I did that, and I became a flight instructor. So I did quite a bit I gave a lot of lessons for about 5 years. And then I kind of switched that into contract flying.
Now those MiGs, what is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Those are MiGs, right?
Yep.
Yeah, thought so.
Yeah, so they're flying MiGs. They're privately owned, so that's not any military group. That's just some guys. That's their hobby.
That's their hobby.
Yep.
That's the Monday right there.
Right.
They're just a bunch of Russian guys flying their MiGs.
For sure.
How long did it take you to become a pilot?
I got my private in like 9 months, I think. Yeah. Took me about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years to get to become an instructor. And I wasn't doing it like full time. Just did it on the side here and there.
So how long before you bought your first plane after you got your pilot license? Did you already have a? Did you buy a plane
I didn't buy one to train, but I bought one. Probably within 6 months of getting my private. Yeah.
What was your first one?
It was a Piper Cherokee 180, 180 horse, low wing, 4-seater. I was counting up the other day. I think I've owned 12 airplanes in about 11 years. So
which one's been your favorite?
So the thing about airplanes is they all kind of have a different mission.
Oh.
And like this airplane is a blast to land off airport and do competitions. But
hey, we are on a live show, man.
Right? I love it. Is there a better environment?
Yeah. Awesome.
But this airplane's slow. So even though I flew it halfway across the country, like it was a long trip. So then you've got airplanes that are faster and better for going places. And I used to own a couple of different aerobatic airplanes. So you could do aerobatics in those, which I can't really do in anything else I have. So they're all they have a different mission. But at this point, yeah, I think the off airport backcountry flying is my favorite.
That's your favorite.
Yeah.
A little slower, but a lot more fun, huh?
Yeah, we call it low and slow. You can't see it, but my shirt says low and slow. So
Levi said that you had a really strong engine in that thing, though, man.
Yeah,
he was saying. He said,
yeah, we did a big engine upgrade this winter, so its power to weight ratio is pretty impressive. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, so let me ask you something before we get out of here. Do you have a website, or do you have like social that people can follow you on?
My Insta and Facebook are both McInteer1. And that's it. I'm not huge into the socials. I don't have a website.
So you don't have like a bunch of like plane stuff in there and all that kind of
stuff? Oh, it's all airplane stuff.
I mean, come on now.
That's all it is. But yeah, I guess I have a website for my flight school, but that's not very exciting.
Unless I'm editing your student, really exciting. What the hell am I doing?
It's pretty exciting for potential pilots.
Right. Yeah.
I'm telling you, once you go at one time in a small plane, you get the bug and you do it all the time.
That's exactly what I was telling him. As soon as we landed, I went, dude, I'm hooked already.
You were scared to death. Like,
not
all
anymore.
the time, and now you do it one time, and you're like, oh my God, this is the most awesome thing ever.
I would die a warrior's death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be worth it.
We met, was that 2 days ago you were here? And even just sitting in my plane made you anxious 2 days ago, Brad. And now today you were loving it. You went up twice.
I went back to back. I was like, let's go again.
Yeah.
I was telling Mike earlier, I was like, you know what, man? I said, it was kind of like the first time you ride a roller coaster. You're scared going up the hill. Then once you get on the ride and start going down that hill, you're like,
this is cool.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
And as soon as we got airborne, I went, oh, this is cool as hell.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm telling you guys, if you can experience going up in a prop plane or, bush wheel, whatever, do it, because it's so much fun. It was a blast.
It's so wild. It's like your brain clicks off like the fear of heights.
Instantaneously.
Like I don't know. It's like different than like going up in a really tall building. You still know you're like attached to the ground, but in a plane, it's like, oh, this is cool. I'm just floating in the sky.
Air freedom.
Feel freedom.
Yeah. Total. And then he goes, yeah, this is my first flight.
I stayed at the Holiday Inn Express last night.
Like, I don't even know whose plane this is.
He said it was, I played it on TV. It's not a big deal.
Do you know how to fly?
Yeah. I don't know how to fly. Grab the stick, because I have no clue what I'm doing. I just took the plane for the hell of it. But anyway, well, thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. We'd love to have you back when you're back home, and we can like log in on the internet. And even though the fighter jets are cool flying over, we can have a more cool conversation too as well. We'd love to have you back, man.
I'd love it.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks, guys.
So, guys, don't forget, you can follow his Insta. He gave it out to you earlier. Also, you can go to thedailybm.com where we have all our socials. We're going to actually get their socials, Pat's socials, and some of the pilots here, so you can go on and check them out too as well and follow them. And also, don't forget our YouTube, and we're on Rumble now as well, where you can follow, subscribe on YouTube as well. So head over there. And Mikey, got anything before we get out of here?
Hey, everybody, have a great day and have an amazing week.
Amazing week. Pat, Trick, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you being here one more time.
Yeah, you can. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Have a good one.
Deuces.